Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to the Econobox garage. Come on inside where it's a little bit warmer. One of the things I've decided to do over the break here is to update the lighting in my garage. So currently I have a bunch of these 2-tube 4-foot fluorescent lights in. Now in the colder months these take a while to warm up. So what I've done, and in keeping with the Econobox side of things here, is I've picked up these light fixtures here that were on sale at Canadian Tire, regularly around $80 Canadian for about $35 Canadian. So for now I've picked up just 4 of them to replace the 9 fluorescents I have. I'm going to put one up over the bench here and then spread the other 4 out running side to side like these ones here down the length of the garage. I'll figure out spacing and then go from there. Now one thing I am going to have to do is modify my wiring a little bit, as these are plug-in, and I just think it'll be easier to wire in some plugs in the circuits up here rather than trying to convert these to a hardwired. I now have the LED lights up in the garage. Did have to adjust my wiring because these are all plug-in, so I had to install a couple of plugs up in the ceiling, but that wasn't too much of an issue. So I have a bank of 4 at this end of the garage. I have a bank of 2 here, just one over my head, and then the one over the bench is on its own plug, and it's just got the pull cord to turn it on and off. So I'm really pleased with the results, and as I mentioned earlier, I did get these on sale at 60% off. So for all 7 lights, I think it was like $230 Canadian. Well, now that I have the lighting changed out in the garage, I thought this would be a good time to kind of go through all the parts that I have left and see if there's anything I need to purchase. So the first box I went to was my windshield wiper box. So here are the wiper arms. Now one of them was missing a little clip right in here. You can see this one has a clip right here. That's what helps it hold it on. Now this one is missing it. So I've already ordered a replacement. So that's I'll be using those. The wiper blades themselves seem to be in good shape, but I may get around to changing their actual rubber part out on those. These are the little gearboxes. This one goes on the right-hand side of the car, with it being a left-hand drive car, and this goes, no, actually on either left-hand or right-hand drive car. This is the one that goes on the right-hand side of the car, and this is the one that goes on the left-hand side. I have my washer nozzles in their little baggie here, so I have those. I picked up new gaskets for these bezels. Now, according to the information on the back of my dashboard, so the car came with a heater, rev counter, the windshield washer pump, and a mile-per-hour speedometer. When I acquired the car, it didn't have the windshield washer pump or the bottle or what have you. Did have the bracket, which is this one here. That's the original one. And this one here as well, but this is out of a much later Sprite or midget. I believe out about 67 or 68. I'm not too sure if I'm going to use that or try and source the bottle, the proper bottle for this here. I have sourced the actual pump. Now this mounts in the dashboard, and it's just a little manual pump. And you just see that you push on that. This mounts in behind the dashboard. Push on that, and there's an inlet from here, or supply, and then each of these little ones goes to the jets that mount up on the scuttle panel. So other than the washer bottle and some hoses, I've got everything I need to put the wipers in. The wiper motor was put together in an earlier video, and I'll put a link to that video up above. So next up, I've got the rear bumpers. It still has the bracket in here. I'm going to take those off and paint them up. I'm going to reuse these for now. They're not in the best of shape. I'll try and clean them up as best I can. So I have both of those. And then I have the two brackets that go underneath the car. And so this part here goes underneath. This part comes out and connects right up in there. So these are the parts that go on the outside of the car. And inside are these brackets here. There's one for each of the bumpers. And there's a bolt that goes from this hole through the body into this one. So this, let's just set this up here. So that would be like that. And then this bracket here, as I said, that hole goes into there. And then these two mount up to these two holes here on the bracket on the inside. So this will go, bolts will go through the boot floor and into this. And then there's a bolt that just goes through the boot floor itself and into that to hold that, to give you kind of a starting spot for that. So there's two of those. And I did have those in the car earlier when I was doing some repairs, just to hold things in the right orientation. So that's why they've got a bit of paint and what have you. I'll just clean those up and paint those back to black. So that's what I have for the rear bumpers. So other than bolts, I don't think I need to find anything else. And as I said earlier, I'll take these two little brackets off, clean them up and paint them, and just generally clean these up. Now these next two boxes have almost ended up kind of being a miscellaneous. This initially had the red braces and some interior hardware. This is the passenger grab handle that mounts on the dashboard. The wooden part goes in on the back side to give some kind of reinforcing for that. I did purchase the interior trim hardware, so these are all the necessary bolts and nuts to mount the aluminum trim pieces that go around the perimeter of the cockpit. Got some P-clamps here that will get cleaned up and used where necessary. This is a bracket for the hood brace, but I won't be needing that as I've gone to the front flip. And these are some of the old trim pieces. And in this bag here, I have the attachment hardware for the top or tonneau. I have looked at these and tried to clean them up a bit. I'm going to retain the main hooks, but I think I'm going. It's not a big expense. I'm going to order new 10X and lift the dot fasteners for that. So that's sort of all interior stuff. And in here, this is some of the stuff that I bought new. There's the windshield post gaskets. This is for the shifter boot, so I'll put that in with the interior. I have a new accelerator pedal that'll be going in. This is the interior, the rearview mirror that I got from Bugeye guys. That mounts on the scuttle panel just inside the windshield. And alright, I have the Sprite emblem that will go on the back. Let's pull that out of there so you can get a better look. So that's the Sprite emblem, and those are the correct colors. And there's two blind nuts or whatever that will go on the back side of that, and I'll have those. And these are the grommets that go in the jack holes on the side of the car. That's one of the old ones. And just some miscellaneous gaskets, and I've got screws and what have you for the windshield. So I'll put all that in there. And as I've mentioned earlier, I was able to source a brand new emblem for the front of the bonnet. So I'm happy with that. So let's put these ones aside and grab the next box. Okay, next up is the box for the door hardware. So in an earlier video, you'll have seen that I cleaned everything up, trowel fitted the doors, and what have you, cleaned up the latches. They do need some grease put in them. So those are all ready. There's some miscellaneous. So in here, I have, let's just dump this out here and put it all back in later. What I believe to be some of the door hardware, just some miscellaneous hardware, maybe some screws for panels, but the most important part of these are the thumb screws for the side screens. So glad I have those. So I'll get all that together and have new check straps for the doors, so I'll put that in here. And these are the brackets for those check straps. The little plugs for the door, for the holes in the doors, and these are the screws for the check straps. One end goes into the door, the other end gets screwed to the side panel of the A-pillar on the inside. And the whole idea of these, of course, is to stop the door from swinging wide open. Primitive, but effective. Now another thing with the doors, this is, and again, it's kind of hard to see in the plastic. This is the trim that goes around the perimeter of the door opening itself, and that gets clipped into place, and that's going to be the black. The liner for the door is black. The check strap is black, and I think that'll coordinate well enough with all the gray and red inside the car. Well, that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please be sure to share it with your friends. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget that little bell icon. Click on that, you'll get notified when the next videos come out. If you'd like to get a hold of me directly, you can do so at the email address I put at the bottom of the screen here, and that will also be in the video description below. My name is Ian. This is the Econobox Garage. We'll see you next time.